So, double thank you. And it looks like we're underway. Okay, Uncle, wrong game. You're about 3 games behind, or ahead, actually. Alright.
Just a bit of restream synchronization there.
Not gonna see a map check from either runner just yet. So, I wonder if we're gonna be assured of a sword today. Oh look! Hey, there's a sword.
Imagine that. Exactly as written on the tin, or whatever it is they say.
Oh, and hammer! Okay!
Okay, bow's gonna be the troll item.
Alright, so Sarah Zelda asking the win-loss record. We've got Tstew at 3-5, and we've got Leslie Pro at 0-6. This is race 1 between both these runners, so this is Tstew's choosing.
And fortunately for these runners, despite their records, no one in their group has played that many races, so they're both still in contention.
Alright, so we have a small key to start in the escape sequence. We've got sword and hammer, so we're good on weapons, but we're still going to need a bomb to make our way through. We're seeing Tstew continuing to farm for it off of the guards.
Though when you push the guard into the bottomless pit, it doesn't really help for farming purposes.
Nah, not really. And we got blue mail.
Yeah, that is definitely nice to see early. Still nothing from the farming, but at least it's easy to do the farming with those weapons. Zelda apparently didn't have much cash on her when she was locked up today.
No. And as we saw on Leslie's menu, we saw that today is Leslie's birthday. So happy birthday, Leslie! So we haven't seen any bombs from the guards. We still have a chance with the ropes in the sewer or the rats.
Yeah, you never know which enemies can drop which items in Randomizer.
Now, the way that the randomizer is set up, the item drops are exactly the same based on the seeds, so it's not going to be random luck that one runner gets it and the other doesn't.
Other than just each enemy has a certain probability of a drop. So, one runner could just get unlucky and not get drops from the enemy that can drop bombs. And we do have this one chest back here which could have bombs in it.
Alright, Nothing from the ropes or the rats thus far. Bats cannot drop bombs, so we don't need to worry about the bats doing it. And there's Moon Pearl. So we've got 2/3 of our Dark World access so far. Alright,
There's a bomb.
Rats have it.
Hopefully Leslie will be able to pick one up then. But it's not looking it.
Although from what I saw, it was like... There were like... Tstew had to kill like 4 rats in that top corner, although there's a bunch here, so that may be able to do it. Alright, so we have the Arrow of Destiny, a Piece of Heart, and the Ether Medallion. Man, this escape has been loaded.
Yeah, getting that arrow out of the way is nice with the new hint system, because sometimes the hints will refer to a unique item, and that single arrow is technically a unique item. It only appears in one chest, so now we know that unique item won't be trolling us if we see it in a hint.
And as Sandreas316 pointed out in chat, that's all the items, which means the map is going to be in the Sanctuary chest. Tstew ain't bothering with it. And from here, the world is the runner's oyster.
Looks like Tstew's gonna check Lumberjack. Oh, nice. Bombs from the tree pole.
8 bomb drop.
And judging by our tracker, it looks like Leslie did get a bomb and escape.
Yep, and we just have a heart container on the Lumberjack ledge, so not going to need to worry about that. And with having the hammer, realistically, the only other reason you would need Aga 1 is for either Dark World access or access to Fat Fairy. With that hammer, it's pretty much down to Dark World access.
So, nothing important in Lost Woods.
And it looks like Leslie was able to get a bomb, because I see everything else on their tracker. Or on their menu, I should say.
More bombs, more money. Even more money. Silver
arrows. We'll take those.
All the more reason the bow's going to be the troll item, though.
Alright, we got powder, so... Man, early on when we got you could do Magic Bat, I would probably make sure you head over and take care of that. And we got a very... Bottle for sick kids. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there.
Oh, no problem. No, it's just amazing, you know. Get the boots, too, and we can do the library.
Alright, we got a Fisher Price, my first shield off the bottle vendor.
In case you didn't have enough bombs, here are some more bombs!
There's another piece of heart. And, sick kid, don't know why you need those explosives, but okay.
Well, that could be why he was sick. That can be pretty bad indigestion.
True. And Tstew, remember, yep, I did get a hammer and a powder. I can check a bat.
I'm not sure I've ever seen this fully in logic so early in a seed before.
Well, there's a lamp, so you... My anecdotal evidence has always been that if I get powder early, the seed is telling me, go check Magic Bat.
Yeah, now there'll be even less sequence breaking.
Alright, so, piece of heart on the library. Now just gotta check the race game, and that will do it for Kakariko for now.
And speaking of pieces of heart, this has been a very health-poor seed.
Ooh, Ice Rod off of the race game, and we're gonna get a map check. 2 crystals at Eastern and Desert, and we got Vanilla Red Pendant at Hera. So your thoughts of Trolley Bow are certainly coming true, because the usual troll item played by the Ice Rod, we already got it early.
Well, and I'm also thinking we're starting to run out of places to check. I mean, there's the south side checks. But if we find either the cape or the Master Sword, we should be worried at this point.
Worry is relative to whether you're actually running or watching.
Fair enough. I mean, yes, I'm sure our viewers would be perfectly happy with an Agaseed. I'm sure the runners would be perfectly happy not to have an Agaseed.
Oh, there's a heart container.
Our first one of the game. Oh, except Leslie must have picked up an extra piece of heart somewhere, maybe?
I think there was one in Lost Woods, and I don't think Tstew picked that up.
Okay, yeah, there was one in the mushroom spot I didn't catch. Whether they picked it up or not. But yeah, Mini Moldorm Cave here has the majority of our Sphere Zero checks left. So hopefully some progression in here telling us what way the seed expects us to go.
Yeah, because right now we've got a lot of progression, but we can't really do much with it. Well, there's flippers.
Okay, that puts several more checks into logic.
Zora! We don't have enough money for Zora just yet, though.
Yeah, but at a minimum, you want to check Hobo while you're down here.
Yeah, part of me almost would want, depending on what money we have at Ice Rod Cave, part of me would almost want to save and quit at Ice Rod Oh wait, we don't have the power glove to do a Houlihan. Never mind, forget what I said.
Right, and now that we have the flippers, we can't do a Houlihan by jumping into the water too many times.
But Tstew is going to go ahead and head down to the water.
It's going to give us a look at Lake Hylia Island.
There's a Master Sword, so... One sword upgrade is going to require Dark World and Mirror.
I think they'll be coming back for it, though.
Depends on where the other two are.
Yeah, I suppose if they get the other two very quickly, no need to come back if that winds up being Butter Sword.
Well, toot toot, there's the flute. So that'll get us up to Death Mountain.
Oh, right, yes. We don't have the glove. And we don't have either the hookshot or the mirror, so there are only a couple of places we can go on Death Mountain, but... hey, we can get up there.
Alright, well there's a Master Sword, so Aga 1 is now open.
We don't have Zora money, but I imagine... yeah, Tstew's gonna check Zora Ledge while he's out here.
But it's just a big 20, so out we go.
So what do we have left? Just 2 places on Death Mountain and Aegina, I think. And Zora.
We also have the 3 It's the Hospitalist Closet and the 3 inside of Eastern. So we still have plenty of checks left.
Right.
And having that flute is certainly going to help check Aegina and do the Death Mountain checks as well. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, to honor Hyrule, please join us for the playing of the National Swag Deck Anthem. And with that, the Hawk's about to rock, and we salute you.
I think Tstew forgot to actually play the flute after releasing the duck.
Yep.
This is too easy. You never see them flute up to Death Mountain and actually have the lamp when they go in to rescue the old man.
Yeah. That's how Rando works. Brian, we found your cane. Please come to the Lost and Found in Death Mountain to pick it up. An old man was using it. You may want to maybe give him a cane in return.
You realize that actually puts Spike Cave in logic now.
Yes, actually, that is true.
We have the hammer and the moon pearl.
No, you don't, because there's that... Isn't there that rock...
Oh, you're right, you're right. You need a glove.
Yeah.
It's just so unusual for the glove to be what would keep Spike Cave out of logic.
I can think of 2 races that I've commentated where it took an hour to find their first glove. Alright, cache in Graveyard Ledge.
Which is always nice when you can rule out one hard-to-get location.
And we have Green Pendant Swamp Palace, based off of Sahasrara.
Now that's kind of interesting because we did get these early flippers.
We would still need a Power Glove. No, if we had Aga, we wouldn't need Power Glove, but we would still need the mirror. Yeah.
Right, but if we see the mirror soon, that could indicate that there's something important in Swamp. Well, and we need the hook shot to get to the back half of Swamp.
Alright, chat pointing out that Leslie forgot to check Agina, but it was just a piece of heart, so... At this point, if we're still trying to avoid Aga 1, we've got Zora, and we've got Eastern.
4 more checks.
And I think we're about to see a Sahasrara and Eastern play. Now, would you go ahead and risk just doing Aga 1, or would you still do Eastern first?
I'd probably do Eastern. I was thinking, if you don't find anything in Eastern, do you take the trek back to Zora, or do you just go for Aga 1 at that point?
I think it would depend on if I had the money. Because that's really what all that's stopping us.
Yeah, I guess with the flute, it's not too bad if you flute to 8 and use the Whirlpool.
And Magic Jade reminding us there is $100 in the Dark Room in Eastern. So, based on what Tstew has, if you assume we find at least 7 rupees dropped somewhere, we're gonna get the money we need for Zora. If we don't find the Power Glove here. Question is, why the runner remember about that cache? There's a big 20 to start.
Which gets one of our 3 items out of the way, too.
Yeah, basically to avoid Aga 1, we've got 2 potential items left in Eastern, plus Zora.
And of course, if one of those 2 remaining items is on Armos, we're not going to be able to get at it right now.
And there's the big key. Second item is $5. The unique item is in the sewers. Thanks, game. Wasn't like this was standard mode, and we've already been there.
Compass. So there's one more chest, which will either give us the 3rd item or the map. And then it's Zora or Aga 1.
Now again, there is that rupee room in the dark room after the big key door. We'll see if either runner remembers it to go get the money for Zora. goes!
Okay, so what is that open at the moment? Bonk rocks, and I think that's the only additional check.
Yep. And that is exactly where we're heading.
Interesting, the seed keeps opening just enough checks that we don't do AGA.
Alright. Are boots gonna give us anything? Survey says... Nope!
So now's the moment of truth.
We'll see if Tstew decides to go farm money or go take on AGA. I think this is AGA.
Yup. Just to answer chat, Lumberjack was just a full heart.
And Diverk111 asking about skipping the Sanctuary chest. In the escape sequence, there's just a small key in the map. We found everything but the map. That means the Sanctuary chest has the map. Alright, interesting that Leslie is going to go ahead and remembers this rupee room. So if that money pays off literally and figuratively, this could either be a big boom for Leslie or a big bust.
Yeah, either Leslie goes farther down the rabbit hole or just wastes time going to Zora.
But Leslie is going to check Bonk Rocks first.
And just to remind the viewers, one of the things about beating AGA is that the overworld enemies get a lot harder and more numerous, so if Leslie finds something at Zora, he could be facing a much easier set of enemies in the overworld for the rest of the game.
And the hint saying that the flute is under the bridge. Once again, thanks, game.
And looks like...
Leslie... Yep, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing you were gonna say.
That Leslie forgot without the glove. I can't get to Zora that way.
Yep.
So instead, we're gonna get a flute to 8. Alright, so as Tstew is heading into face AGA 1, get your blue ball counts in, but this could be either make or break time for Leslie.
And remember, the blue ball number can be anywhere from 0 to 15 with an average of about 3. What are you thinking today? Nice AGA or bad AGA?
Oh!
Wow!
Oh! Power Glove at Zora!
So we are going to see two very different runs from these two runners.
Alright, there's one blue ball. Alright. 2 blue balls. Sarah Zelda asking, why is Tstew doing AGA 1? He didn't have enough money, and I guess he decided it wasn't worth the risk. Now he's dealing with 3 blue balls when he didn't have to.
And just to remind the viewers, Zora was literally the only remaining unchecked location. Oh, here's a map check.
Pod is the other pendant, 5-6 crystals at Turtle Rock and
Ice
Palace. And it looked like there was 3 blue balls we got from AGA today, so congrats, Sandreas316. You won a whole boatload of nothing.
And Zora has left Leslie too poor to play the chest game. Wow.
Oh my gosh!
It could be a long time before Tstew goes to Zora now.
Oh man. And the thing is, he's going to Catfish right now, and he's down 70 rupees. So now, like, Zora is gonna be orphaned for him.
Yeah, it's much more likely that Leslie will check the pyramid sooner than Tstew will check Zora.
And just catfish for 10 bucks. 10 arrows. Alright. This race is already hype enough, but let's get our hype cave check in. Alright,
well, now he has Zora money.
Now he has the Zora money. There's Tempered Sword. And not a whole lot else.
I'd give it a 2 out of 10, maybe 3.
So the interesting thing is, we saw the last sword upgrade on the Lake Hylia Island, and the thing is, with Swamp Palace being a pendant, we may never see the mirror.
And even if we did, it seems relatively unlikely that our runners would take a detour there.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is that if you're in Tstew's... Well, Ice Palace is a crystal, so maybe if you do get the mirror, maybe you'd route it into where you go the Dark World route, get the sword upgrade, and then as you're swimming to Ice Palace.
Let's see what we can dig up today.
The hook shot!
That was worth it. And that now opens Death Mountain to us. Except for Turtle Rock itself, everything on Death Mountain is in logic, but neither of our runners has found both glove upgrades, even though they've each found one. Wow.
Tstew having some dead rock problems.
Yeah, you don't often see runners actually going to the trouble of powdering the dead rocks to turn them into jelly. Have we seen anything useful in Thieves Town?
Not that I've seen.
I mean, other than it's a crystal, so the runners will have to do it eventually anyway.
Yeah, there's that. And nothing in Paradox Cave.
Blue goo can always be helpful.
True. Alright, down goes Blind. And first crystal of the game, 36 minutes in.
Yeah, so the goo could be useful if we go into pod without the bow, but with it being a pendant dungeon, it's entirely possible they won't go into pod at all.
And we're gonna see Tstew make a gamble on Pendant Hera.
At least it's a relatively fast dungeon.
But as Super Malmo World is pointing out... Alright, so Fat Fairy just has cash. And we need to take a coffee break if we want to keep going.
Which
But anyway,
Tstew is gonna do.
Yeah, and again, Super Malmo World, bringing up a point, the way that was set up, well, no, actually, he was saying that he couldn't even get to Thieves Town without the hook shot, but once we found the power glove on the, pyramid ledge, he would have been able to.
Stumpy gave away his heart. No wonder he turns into a log. I mean, he doesn't have a heart anymore.
Alright, so while we've been focusing on Tstew, apparently Leslie did not have the money for digging games, so has missed on the hook shop, but getting that 300 bucks in Height Cave will hopefully send Leslie back. Alright, so let's do a quick recap. Zora had the first power glove. Leslie farmed the money to go get it inside the rupee room in Eastern. Tstew decided that he was going to gamble on this being an Agaseed, and did. And of course, Pyramid Ledge had the other glove. So, at this point, the key thing at this, as Leslie's about to get Titan's Mitts, is when does Tstew make his way to Zora? And at this point, he's done everything but that.
Well, everything in the overworld but that.
Mm-hmm.
Or light world, I should say. Because he can do Thieves Town now.
Yeah, there's something I've been dwelling on, but let's take care of Trolldorm first before we get onto that. Alright, a swing and a spin and a Trolldorm is a dead. So here's the interesting thing. Both runners have been to Eastern. We didn't find anything there. Both runners could get into pod, but without the bow, we can't finish it, and it's also a pendant. Skullwoods we can get into, we can't get very far, and Thieves Town didn't have anything in it. So, the thing is right now, the mirror and the fire rod and the bow, in a lot of ways, are blocking Tstew from getting lost going to other places. So, if we don't find those and you have to get the Titan's Mitts, that may be what helps Tstew in the end. Alright, we're seeing Meyer on Leslie's side. We haven't seen the medallion just yet. And nothing from Leslie. And we got Vanilla Ether for Meyer, and Leslie is gonna go ahead and gamble Meyer not having the Cane of Samaria. Now with the boots you can get in. We also know the hookshot is a dig game.
And Meyer only has 2 items in it, so the odds of a vanilla or French vanilla Cane of Samaria are relatively low, but stranger things have happened, like Zora having the gloves. Alright, so far we got just a map and Meyer. And Tstew predictably is heading into Thieves Town, won't find anything but the crystal. There's a big key. Which is unfortunate for Leslie, because that means we would have had God Meyer if we had gone here in Go mode.
And there's Fire Rod and Meyer.
Okay, Meyer was entirely required to do a dive.
Okay, so that's at least one item that is behind the Titan's Mitts.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if Tstew... Oh, and Leslie forgot that he now has the fire rod and is doing this the slow way.
It can still be done.
Yes, I mean, when I played the game as a kid, I didn't even think about using the fire rod there, and I'm sure I did the slow way.
That was always how I did it. The boots are at Eastern Palace. Thanks, game.
Compass and Swamp Dig chest.
And we got literacy in Meyer, so Meyer turned out to be... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just about to say Desert is now full clearable.
Yeah. That Meyer play certainly paid off for Leslie.
Yeah, I am impressed. Leslie is taking the big risks today, and they are paying off so far.
And with that book, we're going to see a desert play off of Leslie.
Why not? It's a crystal and fully accessible.
Totally makes sense.
Real question for Leslie is routing back in the shovel game, which we know is required.
So, Leslie's gonna do desert right now. Unless we find, like, Mirror, which would open up Death Mountain. Pretty much, you'd have Ice Palace you could do, which you probably wouldn't do unless you had to. Probably would do Pod. So it's basically a question of, do you want to do Pod after Desert, or do you want to do the Smith Chain and route Digging Game in while you're doing the Smith Chain?
Well, with that Firewood rod, Skull Woods is also completely doable into Crystal.
Yeah, and so you could probably do that. You probably would do Skullwoods first, then go take care of Digging Game, Jeremiah, Save and Quit. And
Hammer
then maybe...
Pegs, too.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see Hammer Pegs for the same reason of not having the glove.
Yeah, but
Mitch.
you probably wait and go do Hammer Pegs before you did, when you were getting the lunchbox.
Learn to make, what was that word? Plogs?
I don't know. It was a joke hint. As soon as I saw the green text, I didn't even bother reading it.
I'm just curious what the joke was. Oh, Quack!
And we got Quake.
And Tstew getting his first crystal 47 minutes in.
And Tstew is going to go ahead and go into Skullwoods.
So I'm thinking, what do we need for no mode at this point? Just Cane of Samaria and the bow, yes?
Pretty much. Also the Turtle Rock Medallion, which unless it's Bombos...
Right, so we have
We've already got it.
2/3 chance.
Alright, first item in Skullwoods is $300.
Skullwood's another one of those dungeons that annoyingly only has 2 items and a whole lot of keys. Very nice quick landmo fight.
2-strike count. Not enough magic to get the 3rd strike on the last Lammo, but gets it done. Oh! Cane of Samaria in Skullwoods. And that's both items in Skullwoods.
So, assuming Leslie goes to Skullwoods next, they could be... And assuming they do the remaining checks in Village of Outcasts while they're there, they could be bow away from go mode in a few minutes.
Yep. And that is exactly where Leslie is headed. This, unless, like, Tstew, for some unexplainable reason, decides to go to, Zora now, not getting Titan's Mitts as Zora is probably going to be his downfall.
Yeah, because he doesn't have access to Dark Death Mountain while he's up here.
In fact, why is Oh, Tstew's about to do Spike Cave.
And chat pointing out that T-Rock could be Bombos, and Bombos could be on the pedestal, so Ped Dream is not dead yet.
It's kind of on life support, but it's still there.
Yeah, and Bo is clearly not on the pedestal because Pod is pendant.
Realistically, the one thing we would need for that to be possible is we gotta find the mirror at some point. Alright, Leslie has the cane. The one thing I keep forgetting about is Leslie does not have the hook shot, and that is that digging game. And Tstew's about to do Pod.
And Leslie has now gotten both items out of Skullwood, so he can go mode the back.
Realistically, this is all Tstew has left. Other than Zorax, honestly.
Yeah, not having the Titan's Mitts locks you out of a lot of the Dark World.
Alright, are we bow locked? Yep! And Tstew decides to nope out.
I haven't seen Ether used in that room too many times.
Yeah, I normally use Bombos if I have it, but Ether will work on the Gyptos. Alright, I think Tstew is about to, make his correction.
Leslie going into Mothula with very low health. And Moth is being really trolly today on top of that.
Gotta be careful. Alright.
Oh!
Ooh.
I was
Press
just
up
about to say
next.
you might want to use that bottle. Oh, fairy.
Oh,
Okay.
but he's got a fairy. Alright. So, we've searched all over Hyrule Country. The seed is making Tstew angry. Oh, Tstew, don't fret. Progression you'll get. Just give the Zora all your money.
And quite a few rage slashes.
Yeah, Tstew has just figured out, yeah, I didn't have to do Aga 1.
But at least Tstew is now going to Myers, so assuming he, makes the full dive, he'll get his book and fire rod.
Alright, so Tstew has corrected his mistake. Leslie still has to go to Digging Game and get the hook shot there. And those potion refills tell me we're about to see either a Turtle Rock or an Ice Palace play, and neither of those are the things that Leslie needs to be doing. And it's ice.
Oof.
You know what's interesting, though, now that I think about it?
What?
You only need the hook shot for Trolldorm 2 in this seed. As long as we... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think you were about to... I think you were about to say, assuming we don't, need to get into Swamp Palace.
Right, assuming, like, the bow isn't in the back of Swamp or anything like that.
So at this point, Leslie is a bow and a hook shot away from go mode.
Or, I mean, the, bow could always be in Hookshot Cave.
Chad also reminding me that Leslie would still need the hook shot to get over to Death Mountain without the mirror. I forgot about that. So Turtle Rock is not open for Leslie at this point.
Good point, chat.
Chad also reminding us we may still need Bombos if that is what's on Turtle Rock.
Oh, the double bomb on the Stalfos Knights didn't work.
It was a little off. So basically, if you're rooting for Leslie at this point, you do not want Leslie to find the mirror, because that's essentially going to allow Leslie to get up to Death Mountain and Turtle Rock.
Tstew getting his fire rod. And he is continuing exploration, so he will get his Book of Medora as well. And Tstew remembering to use the fire rod to save some time. Have we seen any items in ice yet?
Nope.
Which means we're almost certainly going to get a look at Ice Tea Room and the long trek it takes to get there.
Alright, we got a piece of heart. The only ball in chat saying we did find one item, which was a blue rupee. So that means we only got one item left in ice.
Oh, okay.
Although we haven't found the big key yet.
Wonder if Leslie's just gonna beat Cold Stare. Nope, going back around. I don't think Cold Stare can have the big key. Or is it possible, if the game expects you to have the Cane of Samaria?
If you do have Cane of Samaria, you don't need the big key.
Okay, so it's theoretic...
Well, and there it is anyway.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it necessarily had to be an Ice Tea Room or if it could have been on Cold Stare.
Although our restreamer Sinek is telling us that the big key is required for Cold Stare.
Okay.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, like I've tried to take a look at the randomizer logic in the GitHub, and Ice Palace and Pod are just one of those that every time you look at it, I walk away more confused than I am having figured something out.
Yeah, like there's some special logic in Pod about like if the bow and the hammer are absolutely not acquirable beforehand, then you only need 3 keys in the front, and yeah.
Alright, but we are gonna see Cold Stare. Did we miss a third item? Because Leslie never picked up the big chest.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I wonder if Leslie's just taking the chance of the third item being on Cold Stare.
Well, Leslie's gonna drain their magic meter to get Cold Stare out.
Tstew's showing us King's Tomb in the meantime. Just
And
bombs.
unfortunately, Leslie doesn't put Cold Stare in a corner.
Fortunately, though, Leslie does have the Tempered Sword, so...
And Blue Mail, so that'll help a little bit.
Okay. There we go.
Got him down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even with Blue Mail, I think one more Puffball hit would have done him in.
And the red shield is the third item, so we're good in Ice Palace. Alright, so at this point, we know Leslie found both the 2 items that could be in Mire. Alright, so I think Leslie's about to do Spike Cave, which we know doesn't have anything. And at this point, we also... Leslie hasn't done Pod yet, but we know it's bow locked. At some point, Leslie has got to remember to go back and do the Smith Chain and do Digging Game, because that's where the hook shot is.
And how many checks, besides doing the dig game, how many checks does that get us? Really just the Smith hammer pegs and the purple chest, right? Because we don't have the mirrored to check things like Cave 45 or Bombos tablet while we're at it.
Yeah, and we got Magic Bat early on because we had Hammer in the Uncle Tunnel and we had Powder in the well, so we did Magic Bat on our first trip to Kakariko. Alright, looks like this is going to be the pod play. Now, Leslie did pick up potions for Ice Palace, so we'll see if Leslie decides to do a potion glitch to get around the bow lock.
Hopefully Leslie will figure, oh, pendant pod and it's bow locked, I probably shouldn't be here.
One would hope. I mean, putting all the information together that we have thus far, we still don't have the mirror, so we can't get into Swamp Palace. Pod is bow locked. The bow's most likely going to be... The bow's either got to be in Turtle Rock, or the mirror has to be in Turtle Rock, and that leads to where the bow is.
Or something on Dark Death Mountain.
True, we haven't seen that yet. And Leslie was thinking about it, but now just saves and quit.
So he's got to go to Village of Outcasts because I don't see where else he can go.
Yep, and fluting the 3. And we're going to see both runners in the same area. Tstew's probably going to finish off Mothula here. Whereas Leslie's going south and hopefully goes to Digging Game.
Yep, that's what it looks like. Jumping down this side.
And this will be the hook shot for Leslie.
And then we'll finally get to see the East Dark Death Mountain checks. Oh, Leslie's not even bothering with the Jeremiah quest.
Nope. I gotta say, I don't blame Leslie at this point. You've got the means to full clear Turtle Rock, plus the 4 checks in Hookshot Cave, and 2 in Super Bunny Cave. Like, as soon as Leslie found that hook shot, Turtle Rock and the area surrounding it makes the most sense.
Yeah, and Leslie also doesn't know about East Light Death Mountain being worthless, so that's an extra 8 chests, they think, that could be useful.
Yeah, because that's the thing we keep forgetting. Because we haven't had the mirror and Leslie hasn't had the hook shot, this is the first time Leslie's going to do anything on Death Mountain that wasn't over by the old man.
He's taking down Moth.
All of that to basically say this is the right play, because Death Mountain has the most items right now for Leslie.
Oh, and I just realized, right, because of not having the mirror, the Jeremiah quest makes a whole lot less sense.
Exactly. Alright, we haven't had a moment to do this just yet, but Tstew and Leslie Pro have been giving us quite the entertaining race thus far, and they certainly deserve your follows on Twitch, so please be sure to give them follows for the entertaining race we have, which, if you're just joining us, we had Power Glove at Zora. Tstew decided to gamble not doing that and just going to Aga 1. And then the other glove was on Pyramid Ledge. So Leslie actually farmed the money to get the Power Glove, and as Tstew is starting Aga 1, we found it. And so now the only other difference at this point was that Leslie, because of paying all that money for Zora, didn't have the money for the hook shot at the Digging Game, and only now has finally gotten it.
So I wonder if Leslie's going to be wasting time doing the full Tower of Harrow once they find out that the big key is in its vanilla location.
Alright, we got Ether in for Turtle Rock, so we're good there. So at this point, we're a bow away from go mode for both runners.
Oh no, Leslie.
Yeah, Tstew has already been here to Hera before having found the Titan's Mitts, so we know nothing's here. And 1 hour, 10 minutes, 4 seconds, Tstew14 is in go mode, and he knows it.
Wow. So for all that, the bow wasn't super trolly.
But as you predicted at the start of the race, that was the one troll item.
Early hammer means late bow and vice versa. I stand by it.
Alright, so both runners have 4 crystals at this point. Leslie has been to Meyer, has gotten both items, but didn't have the Cane of Samaria, so couldn't finish it. So once Leslie goes back, you just have to go mode right to Vitreous, and you're going to have the bow for the eyeball shooting gallery. Tstew has to go mode Turtle Rock and Ice Palace and Eastern. So... And with Leslie wasting time heading up Tower of Hera, this is not going to help.
This is going to be close one way or the other.
Now, the one problem with Turtle Rock is you still have to pretty much check everything because you need to get at least 3 keys in order to get through Turtle Rock.
And depending on the key location, sometimes 4.
True. Alright, Troll Arm down for Leslie, not gonna find anything they want to see.
So, then the question... Leslie's gotta go to the dark side now, and then the question is just... Hookshot Cave first or Super Bunny Cave first?
Which... Given that Tstew is probably going to go through the same... Or Leslie's going to go through the Turtle Rock portal like Tstew did. Forget that. Leslie's doing Spiral Cave, so we'll probably do Super Bunny first.
Except that without the mirror, if you use that portal at the bottom of East Death Mountain, you have to save and quit to then open T-Rock, so I wonder if Leslie will go back up through Paradox Cave and remember that that's the only way to open T-Rock without the mirror.
Honestly, well, Leslie is remembering that. Honestly, like if I was running this at this point, I would probably, if I had seen the bow, I would have just saved and quit and gone done everything else and then do Turtle Rock right for Ganon's Tower. But again, I suck at this game. I am not even in this tournament. I didn't even try to qualify, so your mileage may vary on my advice. And we got enough keys, so we aren't going to need to worry about Laser Bridge.
Turtle Rock open.
Not going in.
And yeah, Super Bunny first. Not a huge time waste, but... a bit more health didn't hurt. And Tstew is already through Turtle Rock and on the way to Trinex.
And 115, 18, Leslie throws and go mode. And gonna save and quit. So we'll be, I imagine it's saving Turtle Rock for last.
As you were suggesting.
So you're gonna go to 5 first and finish Eastern. Tstew has Trinex down.
Wait, Leslie, what are you doing?
That's not the right one. Yeah,
Okay.
Leslie realizes it.
Okay, fixes that mistake.
Alright, so that's 5 crystals for Tstew. Leslie's at 4. But we'll just have to... has already done Meyer, so just has to go right for Vitreous.
I'd probably give Tstew a slight lead here, but we'll see.
Yeah, realistically at this point, both runners are going to be neck and neck into Eastern. And it's just going to be a matter of Tstew has to do Go Mode Ice Palace, Leslie has to do Go Mode Meyer and Turtle Rock.
And by Go Mode Meyer, that's straight to Viddy, because Leslie already has the big key from the first dive.
And honestly, the room that Tstew is passing right now, the rupee room in the right corner, that is what could have probably made the difference in this race, because that is how Leslie farmed the money to get to Zora before doing Aga 1. And Ashes, Ashes, the Armos Knights fall down. Crystal number 5 for Leslie will be 6 for Tstew.
And I'm wondering now how quickly Leslie can run through Meyer versus Tstew doing Go Mode Ice Palace. Because Leslie then still has Turtle Rock.
But that will dump Leslie out right near Ganon's tower, whereas Tstew's gonna have to do another climb.
Right, the funny thing is, if Tstew wins this, it'll be because Leslie wasn't able to do the dig game the first time around after spending all their rupees at Zora.
I mean, honestly, though, thinking about it, like, the way the seed unfolded, not having the hook shot really didn't burn Leslie all that much. Because Tstew had a little bit of an execution advantage going into kind of the early game. And then having the glove at Zora kind of threw everything out of whack. But now that pretty much both runners have basically had to 100% check everything, finding the one item they both missed. Depending on how this plays out, we're still gonna be kind of close.
Yeah. But I think if Leslie hadn't full cleared Ice Palace, they'd have much more of an advantage.
We are going to see Leslie finish Meyer well before Tstew's done in Ice Palace, though, so that'll work a little bit, and Turtle Rock was pretty favorable in the key layout.
Just addressing chat, Meyer was necessary before Skull Woods because the Fire Rod was in Meyer, so you had to do it before Skull Woods.
Yep. Alright, Vitreous down. We've got 6 crystals on both sides.
But Tstew's almost at Cold Stare now.
Ranger Avoid also pointing out, Meyer had basically access to 2 dungeons, because you needed, with not having the mirror, you needed the book to get into Desert, and the Fire Rod to get into Skullwoods, as well as Turtle Rock. Alright, so Leslie's gonna basically be getting into Turtle Rock as Tstew is finishing crystal number 7, so I can pretty much say at this point, Tstew is going to have a lead.
And speaking of crystal number 7, we have a little game we like to play. Would you like to describe it for our viewers?
Let's give it a minute, because we can't officially start it until Cold Stare is down. I will help you with that, but we just gotta wait for this red shield, gotta wait for this crystal. And hold on, guys. We gotta get the guessing game started first. Alright, there are 22 locations where this Ganon's Tower Big Key can be in the basement of Ganon's Tower. If you want to play in our guessing game, you need to guess a number between 1 and 22, and you're in luck because since this is on the ALTTP Randomizer channel, you don't even need to worry about a sub or bit donation to be able to get on the leaderboard here on the ALTTP Randomizer channel. So, D. Rossi, what'd you guess?
I'm going with 10, just because I feel like I've been guessing 10 a lot lately, and now it's become my number. Well, what about you?
You know, I would like to use 10 but I'll say, I guess I'll go 11 then.
There you go. Which I guess, under normal counting, both of those are in Rando Room.
Yeah, we actually just had this bot created by our restreamer, the Synac, a few weeks ago, so... Oh, Tstew's continuing to get dead rocked.
Gives Leslie a little bit of catch-up time there. We're going to stop the game as soon as Tstew enters GT, so get your last guesses in.
A few more seconds. And guesses are closed. We are going to see right side first off of Tstew. Alright, number 1, small key. Number 2, small key.
So Tstew's going right.
Chad also pointing out something interesting. With not having the mirror, you're going to have to actually go all the way back. So number 3, mushroom, 4, 20 bucks, 5, 300 bucks, 6, 50 bucks.
Yeah, so if the big key winds up being left side and Leslie goes left side, this could make a huge difference.
And actually, with not having the mirror, this play makes sense of just going ahead and doing Armos Knights.
Once you've committed to right side, but you could also check the 2 chests in Hope Room and then immediately go and do left side.
This also could give Leslie a chance to kind of get back into this if left side is where the big key is. And decides to go left. Alright, number 7, Bob's chest. There it is!
Okay, wow, so... But Tstew doesn't have an immediate exit.
Alright, so JTB was the winner of the Gain and Star Big Key Guessing Game, so congratulations! You have scored 35 points on the ALTTPR GT Big Key leaderboard. Congratulations. And Tstew is now trying some creative ways to either death warp or find a way back without that mirror.
And without any magic to light the way, either.
Finally gets it with like 1 heart to go. Swagnet in the GT Big Chest.
With 1 heart to go, I wonder why he didn't just death warp at that point.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. In fact, you've got powder. I don't know why you would just be going for that anti-fairy at this point. Tstew has got to be careful with only 1 heart to go. And of course, the red mimic drops a heart in probably the most precarious place.
Yeah, this will be interesting, especially when Tstew enters the gauntlet with 1 heart.
And they've got boots, so you can go get the 2 fairies right before the gauntlet.
Does he have any potions?
There was the one in Paradox Cave that we got, and I don't think Tstew ever used. Oh, but Tstew never used the fairy that Leslie did, so he's
oh no!
So he's gonna die and get the fairy here.
Oh, right. Good point. Just as you were saying it.
you're gonna replenish it there.
I wonder what means of egress Leslie will use after finding the big key in Bob's chest.
The big question is, does Leslie still go full right? Which, with all the hearts, you wouldn't waste your time on a death warp. You'd just go.
Yeah. All the hearts and blue mail. No.
Except...
Oh no. Really?
Really? Gonna wall master and go full left.
Well, at this point it would take a really bad death or several Ganon falls on Tstew's part.
Or an unfortunate despawn of all of the enemies heading up to floor 6.
That is also true. I'm always amazed when I see it because usually runners are pretty careful to make sure that doesn't happen.
I had one runner in a race recently that did it. It is still possible for them to forget about it.
And if that's the race I was thinking of, I think they went all the way to where Moldorm would have been, though it was Randomizer.
Yeah, it wasn't Randomizer seed, and so the cold stare ice was there, but no cold stare was in it.
And it made for one very confused runner.
So now Tstew. Okay, so there's the ding. So for those that may be new, if you go up that ladder right as the door is closing, it despawns all the enemies and you have to go back and start again.
Because even if you hover over the Moldorm gap, there isn't going to be an Aga 2 at the top.
Nope. Alright.
It's quick work of Moldorm 2. Plunders Moldorm's last possession.
Alright, Geometry Wars time.
Got a good double there.
Only a single, though.
I'm impressed with that diagonal he was able to get anything that round.
Alright, but with that double gets it done, and it is time for the big pig. Interesting that Leslie just showed us, hey, Tstew, you could have just hook shot across. You didn't need to bomb jump. But at this point, it's probably not going to matter, because Tstew just has to finish Ganon, and this race is over.
And with Tempered and Silvers, it shouldn't be a very long fight. Ooh.
Oh! But still has that fairy picked up.
Still probably shouldn't be so reckless with the fire bats.
Does need to be careful, because he only has one fairy that he picked up.
But we're on to stage 3.
And soon, phase 4. Alright, did we find the arrows in the light world? Yes, we did! I'm gonna drink a potion before I shoot one in your face! Oh! Now that Ganonfall's gonna hurt, but you'd need probably one more before this race gets really interesting.
Okay, he is gonna bang the tree for a fairy. He just really needs to be careful now he's used up that potion. And with only 6 fire rod shots available, you probably want to put some effort into getting the torch glitch.
Alright, back to phase 2.
And I think that's enough hits to get past phase 2 in one cycle. Yup.
Alright, gets one there. That should set up for a double.
Triple!
Oh, but actually got a triple!
Get your GGs in chat for Tstew, assuming he can make it over this dangerous 3x1 bridge.
And after some changes in his screen resolution, Tstew finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 37 seconds. Spam those GGs in chat.
And Btorp was here. So that's been a heck of a race. Leslie just now getting to Aga 2, so not too far apart at the end of the day. And having some nice geometry wars, too. Commentator's curse as soon as I say that.
And Leslie has Aga 2 down.
Do we think we can get Tstew in here?
I'm checking on that right now.
Okay, Leslie fortunately brought at least one blue bottle there. And has a lot more hearts in this fight than Tstew had, so hopefully, even with those magic bat hits, health is not going to be a problem here. Some glove for sale, which is appropriate because it was a different glove for each of our runners. Unfortunately, Leslie not quite able to get the torch glitch there, but that should at least... oh, only a single.
Alright, we did hear from Tstew. He'll be ready in a minute.
Well, maybe we can get both of them at the same time, then. Because Leslie has just taken down the pig.
And just has to walk through the door and finishes with an official SRO time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, 53 seconds. GG's to Leslie.
So considering the massively different routing our two runners took, it's pretty impressive there was only a 3-minute and change difference between the two of them.
Yeah. It really just kind of came down to execution in a lot of ways, because the thing was, with both of them missing one item, it basically forced both of them to check everything before
That was
that
a
one
heck of a
item.
good race. I can be proud of that effort, even though I didn't win. One sec while I go.
Okay, we got some audio from Leslie's side, so... Alright, joining us in chat is Tstew14, GG.
Hello, GG.
So, how about those glove placements?
That was annoying.
Just a little.
But yeah, well, starting from the top, why don't you just take us through that seed from your perspective a bit?
So, Light World was pretty easy until to make the choice between Aga and Zora, and I didn't want to farm up, so I just went to Aga.
Yeah, and as Leslie Pro 04 does join us in chat, GG, like, the interesting thing about that race was the farming of that money is essentially what came down to the difference in the race. Because since Leslie did farm the money and went to go get the Power Glove off of Zora, unfortunately didn't have enough money for Digging Game where the hook shot was. So both of you basically combed over all of the overworld as you could until finding the one item you were both missing.
And unfortunately, that's what it happens. I had a feeling that not having the money for Digging Game was going to kick me in the rear, and that's exactly what it did. While it gave, it also took.
Yeah, and I think what really made the difference in the end was your full clear of Ice Palace before you went back to check the Digging Game.
Yeah, something tells me that. Yeah, as soon as I saw the hook shot, I'm like, Rando giveth, Rando taketh. Because while it gave me a way to not have to do Castle Tower, it took away Digging Game, and unfortunately, at the end of the day, that's what did it for me, but still, I feel like I played this seed incredibly well, and I feel like I put on a good show for you guys, and at the end of the day, I feel like I delivered in that regard.
You absolutely did.
Yeah, it was great to watch both of you. It was a really close race. I guess also I'm curious in how you each chose to approach doing GT Basement without the mirror, because you took somewhat different approaches there.
Yeah, I went right side first, and I felt that if I'd gone into the teleporter, then I was committing to full right. And knowing how many chests I would have been passing up on the left side, that would have been quite the gamble to make in any situation, and I didn't feel comfortable with giving away all those left side chests, which is why I decided to go back and do full left, even though it wound up being the Bob chest, which was kind of funny when you think about it.
And the irony about it is, had you just done full right, Tstew did actually make a Ganon fall, which probably could have put you a lot closer than it turned out to be.
Yeah, there were certainly a few things I could have done differently to have taken this one, but I'm very happy with how I've played because my last race, well, didn't go all that great, so this one, being as close as it was, is something I can be very happy with. Because at this point, I've got nothing to lose, so if I don't win, that as long as it's close and I don't get smoked, I can come away pretty happy.
Mm-hmm. So, go ahead. Go ahead, Drowsy.
I was just going to ask Tstew, you just felt it was easier to stick full right since you didn't have the mirror?
Yeah, whenever I just went away, I decided I was gonna commit whichever way I went. Just go straight to arm.
And since you had the 2 keys in the Hope Room, might as well just commit to right side?
Yeah, I might as well.
Although, you did spend a lot of time trying to bomb jump back over when you could have just used the hook shot.
I didn't realize that I could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Leslie got out of there a lot faster when the time came.
Now, there was one interesting point about this seed that I would like to bring up, is that the way the items were laid out in this seed is that you basically had to choose between either double dipping Skull Woods or double dipping Misery Mire. Now, both of us wound up playing the opposite end of the same coin here, which turned out to be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. I would totally concur with that.
Yeah, one of the many things that made this a really interesting seed for us to watch. I don't think either of them was particularly a better or worse play than the other. It probably took you about the same amount of time all told. But, yeah, it was certainly interesting that you had to double dip one or the other, but you could do it either way.
Yeah, I think little nuances like that can make for some really fun races.
So, I do have one final question. Well, one final question for both of you, but I'll start with Leslie first. We did see on your name setup that you did say B-Day race, so I'm assuming today is your birthday?
Yep, for me though, I don't do anything overly special on my birthday. What I typically do is I go about it just like it's any other day. I had to work today just like any other day, and I figured we got 2 weeks left for races, so if I have to race one on my birthday, so be it, win or lose. And unfortunately, while this time turned out to be a loss, it's a seed that I can be very happy with. And as far as I'm concerned, that's good enough for me.
Well, happy birthday nonetheless.
Thanks.
All right, Tstew, final question to you. This puts you at, I believe, 4 and 5 in Group H with 6 races to go. So, how are you feeling as we're kind of approaching the end of the group stage?
If I want to make it out, I probably have to win out or only drop like 1 game. So I'm getting, it's looking likely that I'll make it out.
But you're still in striking distance. I mean, the group's pretty open.
Yeah, I need a bit of help to get out, but I can still definitely make it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually just thought of one other thing I wanted to ask both of you. Pendant Tower of Hera, I was kind of surprised that you both went through it even after discovering that the big key was in its vanilla location. What was your thinking there?
Honestly, I was just being thorough because in past races, not being thorough has certainly been my undoing. And, well, I know how my luck is with that. Just look at my fourth race from the spring and you'll know exactly what not being thorough did to me. Sent me into a bit of a tailspin. But, that being said, I figured if I'm going to lose, I'm going to at least be thorough about it. Because if I missed Hera and the bow was there, then I would have gotten burned so bad. But, well, the other gamble would have been go right to Hookshot Cave, but that's not a gamble that I was comfortable making without the mirror. If I had the mirror, then maybe. But no mirror, no go.
I just kind of forgot it was a pendant and was just clearing stuff.
And you were kind of running out of places to check at that point, too, as I recall.
Yeah, at that point I think I just had, maybe, Pod and Zora.
Yeah, because Dark Death Mountain was out of the question for you at that point without the myths.
Alright, well, Tstew, Leslie Pro, thanks again for giving us quite the entertaining race. I know it was probably stressful for both of you on the one troll item, but it was certainly entertaining, and please, everyone in chat, do be sure to give follows to both Leslie and Tstew.
And also, thank you to our tracker tonight, Vince Easter, who has done a great job keeping on top of all the items our runners were collecting in their different routings. And thank you, of course, to Jex Refi. A pleasure commentating with you as always.
As well as you, D. Rossi, and of course we couldn't have watched this entertaining race without our restreamer Synac. So special shout outs to him for making this race happen, or at least be visible to everyone tonight. We do have another full day of randomizer action on the Speed Gaming network of channels at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. We have an Randomizer Old Dungeons seed between Hulo Ninja and PRD Wong. At 1:20 Eastern on Speed Gaming 2, we have DT and Burn the Witch doing a hard retro seed. And at 3:30 Eastern, we have Kermit versus P-Train on Speed Gaming 3. Just a standard seed like you saw tonight, but randomized swords. And then they're actually going to go back-to-back with an Uncle Assured Randomizer after that race on Speed Gaming 3.
And the next few days should be pretty interesting in terms of implications for the groups and then brackets, because we only have 10 more days left of group matches. This has been a 6-week-long marathon, and we're now getting to the point where the groups are starting to sort themselves out. So in the next few days, we could see a lot of groups become more congealed, and it'll be more apparent who'll be heading on to brackets.
Yeah, we do have a couple groups that have had some of the runners be determined who's coming out, but there still are plenty of groups that still have to duke it out here in the last couple weeks. So please be sure to check out the Speed Gaming channels as well as the ALTTP Randomizer channels.
And one more thing from me, if I may. I also have a 6 o'clock tomorrow against GFE12. It's our third race between us, and it's standard random weapon, all dungeons, but under retro flags in hard mode. Well,
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but right now that's currently not being restreamed.
I know, but I just thought I'd bring it up in case anyone's wondering what was going on with our group, because we still got a bit to sort out. Well, maybe not so much with me, but with the others.
And
well, maybe if we...
I was just going to say, it's entirely possible that that may be restreamed right back here tomorrow evening.
Yeah,
It
if we
looks
could
like
get...
there's some interest in streaming it based on the signups.
Yeah, we would just need a restreamer for that. So, well, it also depends on everyone else. So, all right, well, Drosy, it was certainly a pleasure. Tstew, Leslie, thank you very much for racing tonight.
Have a good night. Thanks for the restream. And Tstew, thanks for one heck of a race. Congratulations on the win. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Leslie Pro, and happy birthday.
Thanks, Tstew. Catch you later.
All right, so for Drosy, Vince Easter, Sinek, I'm Jex Reffi. We'll see you next mission.